Okay. Um, yeah, so, I mean, I guess I'm not entirely surprised that there's tourists here, but that definitely was uh, the first time that I've ever seen any, quite like that, so, hey, how's it? So I know that, um, like, I guess maybe I might I might be in for a surprise. I guess that's what I'll say. Like, I know Hawaii is a vacation spot. Um, and I know that, like, it's kind of a normal spot. Uh, hey, how's it? I know it's kind of a normal spot. Uh, where like, people go to, like, I don't know, go to the beaches, like, do snorkeling, sailing, check out, I don't know, maybe a little bit of the history of it. Same like anywhere. Same like someplace like Thailand. But in Thailand, like, even though there are a lot of normal tourists in Thailand, there are also, like, there's a specific group of party tourists that go to Thailand. And so I'm wondering now that now that I've seen that, I'm wondering whether I'm wondering whether I'm wondering whether look at this. There's an ice cream. There's like an ice cream pop place here. And then this looks like a little factory, but I think it's just some place to buy ice. Yep. It's a block ice store. Block ice, not for consumption. I don't know what you would use block ice for. Oh shoot, they have ice bags here. Uh, and of course a dragon. Speaking of which, oh shoot, it moves. Uh, speaking of which, Happy Lunar New Year. Um, to anyone watching, in China, it's the year of the ox. So I think the expression is I think it's 新年快乐. So yeah, Happy New Year. Um, I guess you know what? I only same thing with horoscopes. I only know the I only know my like, in terms of, like, the Chinese zodiac. I only know about the one that I'm from or whatever. Like, same with my horoscope. Like I'm not into horoscopes, and I'm not into, the zodiac and stuff like that. I do believe that, like, I do believe in, like, sort of, how do you say, I do believe that, like, if you take the time the date and time that each person was born, you will get a specific image of the universe for each person. But there's I mean, unfortunately, like I'm agnostic. I mean, there's no way that I can really tell, like whether or not, like people, just what the effects of the stars and everything going on at the time of birth were for different people. Like I don't know if it's even, I mean, just like everyone, like I don't know if that's if something like that is a thing, if there's any correlations between traits, if something like that is even possible. But it is fun to think about, and so it is fun to think about it being possible. And so yeah, I only know about the traits from my own personal zodiac. So for the Chinese zodiac, I'm the year of the boar, and so the year of the boar, I know the traits of the boar, but the year of the ox, that's the year that we're in now, and I'm just gonna have to look up. I'm gonna have to look up what sort of traits, like what's supposed to come with the year of the ox. With my own year, so I know the legend behind the boar. My understanding is that, like, while all the other animals in the Chinese zodiac, while all these other, I don't know, animal gods or what have you ascended to heaven, at whatever pace they did, the boar took longer than everyone else to ascend into heaven, to like make his journey into heaven. Oh, there's a bunch of cats out here. 1, 2, and 3. You can see the third one is like a little black shadow right there. But 1, 2, and 3. I told you this Liliokalani Gardens is a cat sanctuary, a little unofficial cat sanctuary. But in any case, for the Chinese zodiac, the boar took the longest to ascend into heaven. Like if you think of like maybe traveling. Anyone who knows Dragon Ball Z, traveling across Snake Way, right after you die, you start walking this path, and it's like long and winding, and it looks like you'll never get to the end of it. But once you do, there's like enlightenment awaits. That's kind of the way that I think of the story of the boar in the Chinese zodiac. He was the last to ascend into heaven. He took the longest time. He really, like, I don't want to say dilly-dallied, but he took time to appreciate the things that he was going through before making it like all the way into heaven. And so I know that the boar represents like wisdom. It's supposed to be the wisest of all the Chinese zodiac. But as far as the ox, I don't know. I'm not sure. Hold on a moment. I don't know. My mind's still. My mind is kind of still wandering back to those tourists. Like, I just can't believe it. Like, these are the first like non-boring visitors. Like, these are the first aliens that I've seen on this island. Most visitors that I've seen are from, like, I don't know, Japanese tour groups, or maybe like I've seen one Muslim tour group, one Christian tour group. I have seen a few people from Europe here, and for the most part, like, there's nothing that stands out about them. Like, you wouldn't be able to tell them from maybe, I don't know, like, mostly they're just like very quiet, and they're like not recording, sorry, they're like taking pictures, and then either they're brave enough to jump in the water, or they don't. But even in the water, they're just doing regular stuff. They're just swimming. Same like the locals. But tonight, they actually set up like a freaking, like a whole silent rave. Like, they knew enough about the island to know. You know what? Maybe they didn't know enough about the island. It could have been the music, you know? Music and like noise policies and stuff like that they were looking out for. Here's someone messing around in his boat. Pretty cool. Almost never see people in their boats at night here. You know what? I'm glad I came here. I've been really nervous. Okay, so a lot of people see Chinese probably in the how do you say, in the, what you call it, in the titles. Like, a lot of people probably see, like, notice that there's Chinese in the titles, but like, I've been really lazy about like starting to do vlogs in Chinese. I want to just I want to shoot separate videos, and I feel like I want to shoot like videos with all English dialogue, and videos with all Chinese dialogue, and I'm only 4 years into studying Chinese, and you know what? I could finagle my way around like basic conversations, but like I could finagle my way around like communicating about basic things in Chinese at this point. It's been about 4 years, and but my listening is still really bad, and my dictation is also poor. Like, I need to keep practicing speaking in order to become comfortable with it, and so I've been really lazy about like beginning to vlog in Chinese. So I think what I might try to do is just like start, if I'm I really like. I realized it should just be its own channel. Um, just in terms of like organization. But you know what? At some point, if I don't get started vlogging in Chinese, then I will. I'll just on a separate channel. Then I'll just start. I'll just start doing it on this channel. I'll just start doing it on this channel. Geez. I don't even know what I could talk about. Let me try. I'm gonna give it a shot just towards the end of this. I guess maybe just while I'm walking on this kind of like a little bit difficult to see spot. OK 大家好，我叫白壮游。我最近搬家我搬到夏威夷在去年去年11月我以前住在亚特兰大，可是我并从纽约我生在纽约和我长大在纽约所以我长大的时候在我的城市是很多中国人。我长大在纽约也在3年前也在3年前后我还住在纽约。可是多长时间我很想搬家。在美国美国西部。我长大很想搬到加州。可是因为我的 可是因为我的家人都住在亚特兰大，所以他们很想很想呃呃呃对我跟他们住啊、近呃，所以所以我搬到在亚特兰大可是一般啊一般我嗯一般我不喜欢美国的美国的南边部啊啊所以所以去年呃我决所以去年我决定我决定啊啊搬出去，嗯亚特兰大啊啊，所以所以我所以所以我搬到夏威夷。我我的专业，我的专业是差不多我是啊工啊工程师工程师嗯所以所以我整天所以我整天啊跟所以一般我整天跟电脑嗯啊教导教导呃可是嗯因为因为夏威夷不因为夏威夷不oh man, I forget the word for population. 呃呃因为夏威夷没有很多人，呃所以所以不所以不是不是很多啊电脑的工程师sorry 电脑的公司嗯所以嗯啊所以现在所以我找所以我找工作，嗯所以我一边所以我一边找工作，嗯一边 啊、公在啊啊一个啊、一个手机，一个手机，商店，yeah，yeah，我现在在我的手机商店，啊、一般一般我觉得，夏威夷很啊很轻松啊啊差不多每天差不多每天我出去海滩啊可是我很想找到啊啊工作跟电脑公司啊、所以所以我可以一直啊挣多钱，挣多钱，嗯我可能我可能一般啊、我可以已经就在夏威夷啊很多年啊、可是啊啊一年一年嗯啊啊一年就在夏威夷以后一年就在这儿以后啊、我会啊嗯我会呃查嗯我会查呃别的我会查别的island. I don't know the word for island. 呃嗯所以所以我可以找工作费费多钱？嗯最近我喜欢最近我喜欢就在这儿，嗯嗯我觉得夏威夷很美丽，嗯很美丽，很轻松。 Um, so I mean, that's just a little bit of Chinese, you know. Like, I'd wanted to start another channel. I'd wanted to start another channel uh, to be able to do like walking videos in Chinese. But I don't know. Like, I really wasn't. I really hadn't intended on. I really hadn't intended on making this quite such a big hobby. I think that it's cool that you know, that people can like just document their lives basically, and if they do it enough, then it can turn into an income. Like, it can turn into like a few extra $100 a month or something. You know, and when I say that, what I mean is that I think it's cool that when I say that I think it's cool that people can document their lives. What I mean by that is that it's cool that people can simply document their lives and make like a small income off of it, um, through platforms like YouTube. There's others too, like Twitch. But I say document specifically because that is going to be completely different from full on, how do you say, you know, like editing, sitting down and editing videos and like producing, like truly producing content. You know, like yes, you can truly produce content and, you know, like make a living off of it, but it really takes like sitting down and putting like a lot of work into it. But I think it's cool that you don't even really have to do that. Like, you can just document your life. Like, you can just document wherever you know, whatever you happen to be doing, and not like make too much of a thing about it, and still like end up getting like, you know, like a little bit of money for it. That's pretty cool. But because of that, like, I really, you know, like, I'm studying Chinese, but I mean, I'm doing it because I want to learn it. Like, I didn't really intend on like I didn't really intend on trying to turn it into anything. I thought something like that might be cool, like, you know, maybe do something educational or what have you, but I really didn't really have any intent on like taking on like, you know, having it take up more time than what it takes to learn it. And so that's what I'm most interested in. Like, I'm most interested in just continuing to study and learn. But I do realize that, like, you know, if you don't live in the country for the language that you're learning, then you have to really be willing to, how do you say, like, put in a lot more hours to make up for the fact that you're not getting those hours in passively, by living there, you know, in the home country of whichever language you happen to be studying. And so So I thought that recording in Chinese might not be, might not be the worst idea in that regard. But I just don't like that. I don't like that I don't like that I'm not completely spontaneous in Chinese. I don't like that I still have a ways to go. I do like that I'm like quasi spontaneous in Chinese, that I can talk about just about anything that I'm thinking about to some extent at this point after 4 years. And I'm getting ready to transition over to adult level Chinese right now. Like, in terms of the material that I've covered, I've very casually covered material all the way up to junior high school level Chinese. Yeah, and so I've covered up to junior high school level Chinese, and so, but I don't have any like I'm doing this on my own. I don't have anyone drilling me or like giving me final exams that I have to cram for or anything. So it's really been quite a challenge. How do you say? Keeping up with it and making sure that I'm like maybe hard enough on myself to make myself go back. I mean, every single chapter is like 50 vocabulary words at this point. And I feel like you just kind of push through. What I've been doing is just pushing through. I have not been making sure that I memorize every single vocabulary word, but what I've been doing is just pushing through. And it's just the same as reading in English, Like, the more you push through, the more you just keep reading, like, the more you'll encounter words that you'll struggle with. And the more that you take time and look them up and, like, figure out how to use them, then the more it'll build your English. Well, it's exactly the same. It's exactly the same in Chinese. It's just like, so rather than, like, making sure that I drilled very hard, on every single vocabulary word and every single grammatical form, I definitely read through everything and did every assignment, but I did not make it such a big deal in these 4 years to, I made a bigger deal out of making sure that I just keep pushing forward with it than I have with making sure that I memorize every single bit of it. And in continuing to push forward with it, what has basically happened is that, like, as you push forward, you just get exposed to more and more of it, and you just keep hitting brick walls and of like words that you don't recognize or like grammatical forms that you don't recognize, and you look them up and then you know them after that, and then you just keep going. And the more you keep pushing forward, like, you just kind of end up learning it. And so that's what I've been doing. I am hoping that I'll be skilled enough to translate professionally in a couple of years. But it's actually been a lot of fun. I like learning new languages. And I'll say that I've always enjoyed language learning growing up, except for except for Spanish when it was first taught to me in junior high school, I didn't get it. Like, I didn't understand why it would be good to know until I was older and I traveled overseas a little bit and got to experience what it was like being someplace without knowing the language. And that place happened to be Germany. And so, like, once I experienced what that was like, I was just like, oh shoot, like, you know what? It would have been, like, I definitely should have paid attention when they were making me learn Spanish in junior high school and high school.